Welcome to Elliott's PT podcast. I'm here to help you find your balance and live your best life guilt-free. I don't believe there is a one-size-fits-all approach for health and fitness. We're all different and we need to find out what works for us. I'm passionate about helping people make realistic, long-term lifestyle changes that they will stick to and they will take with them forever. I don't believe in crazy diets or short-term fixes. We all need to live and find a perfect balance in diet and exercise that suits our individual needs. I want to help you find your exercise mojo, feel great and achieve wonderful things. Here is Elliott's PT podcast by Renee Elliott.
Hello, and welcome back to Elliott's PT podcast. Today, I want to talk about motivation and feeling motivated and how to keep the motivation level up. The first thing is when we're talking about motivation, I feel lots of people get it wrong or have this different expectation of what motivation should be or what motivation should look like or sound like or feel like. And the real truth is that motivation is probably sometimes what gets you started, but it's the habits. I don't know if I've heard that quote a few times, but it's the habits that what really keeps you going. So motivation is something that we might be motivated because we realize we want to exercise, or we feel like we want to lose weight, or that you want to get stronger or fitter. So we have that motivation when we want to start. But then when you create habits that you can stick to forever, that is how we keep going, because that motivation level, that level will, it will slowly dwindle. I also hear lots of people saying to me, I really, really want to start, or I would like to do some exercise, but I'm not motivated enough yet. The truth is, you're never going to be, there is never going to be the perfect time to start. You're never going to be, raring with motivation. You're never going to be like that all the time. So the thing is that pick a reason and just start. Just start and just do it. And, the truth is because, exercise is really important in many aspects for all of our life. And if you are someone that likes exercise, or you feel the need that you want to exercise, I think everybody should be exercising. I really believe that if you are not exercising, I believe when you do exercise, or you live a balanced lifestyle with exercise and all of that, then you're preventing yourself from lifestyle diseases. You can be fitter and stronger, and you can age better. And I just feel like half of people's problems or issues, or, like they feel like they can't move, or they feel sore in their joints, or they're not strong enough. All of those things would be prevented if more people just moved. And people have this vision in their head of what exercise should be like, or what they think it should be. And a lot of times what I do in the classes and what we do here, it's totally different, because exercise isn't aimed to flog you or make you feel sick, or make you work out until you can't move anymore, to totally smash you. That's not the idea of how I train. There are people that might enjoy that, and that's fine, but the majority of people don't like that, and that's not how we work here. And for me, I want you to find something that you can stick to, and that you can stick to, and you can stick forever. And you can see that, that how exercise can change your whole life, and it can make you have a clearer mind. You can feel stronger. You can feel like you can run around and keep up with your kids. You can feel good in your body. You can move better, have a clearer head, all of those things. And that's what I want you to get from exercise. But when we're waiting for this moment to be really, really motivated before we start, I'm telling you, it may never come. And then I have people that do start, and they say, oh my God, I wish I started sooner. I wish I did this sooner and stopped putting it off. So what do I want to say about motivation? I want to give you some tips on how you can try to stay a little bit how you can stay more motivated, or ways you can kind of get yourself motivated first to go. So I want you to think about when you, if you are wanting to start at a gym, or you're wanting to join a gym, I want you to think about, what is your real intention of going? So, why are you going to the gym? Are you going to the gym because you feel you have to? Are you going to the gym, because you you have a goal that you would really like to achieve. What do you want to go? And when you think about that, then work out what so that's going to, what you're really looking for is going to help you decide as to where you choose to go. So, and you can look and obviously different places offer trials, and it's really good to go and do them and see how you feel, if you feel comfortable, and if it's the right fit for you and all of that. So that's what I would be looking at first. I'd be thinking about, why am I telling myself that I want to go to a gym? Because if you're going to a gym or starting a new exercise regime or any of those things, if you're doing it all for somebody else, you're not going to be able to stick to it. You're not going to stick to it long term, because you're not doing it for yourself. You're doing it for someone else. I like the example of, my husband used to be a smoker. And when we were first together, I said to him, I never said anything when we were first together. And then after a while, it was a long time ago. It was very different. And, you'd read the statistics of that after a certain age that, smoking suddenly hurts you more or whatever else. And I knew from the day that I met him that I wanted to be with him forever. So I didn't want him to smoke, but, so I kind of spoke about it, and he tried to quit a few times, but he was quitting for me and not for himself. So he tried to quit, and then he would go back, and it never really lasted. It was because he was trying to do it for me, not for him. And when he made the decision himself to quit smoking, he quit, and he got through the horrible times of withdrawals and all this other stuff. He got through all of them because he had made that decision to do so. So what I'm asking you to do is, if you are looking for motivation to join a gym or exercise something else, I want you to really ask yourself why. Why are you wanting to do this? Are you wanting to do it for yourself? Are you wanting to do it for someone else? And that's the first thing. So when you realize that why, what you're wanting to do this, that's going to be this first level of motivation. I also talk about your deep internal why. So this deep internal why, which I talk about all the time, is that really internal driver that we have. And my why, as you probably heard me say a million times, my why is that I want to live a life as long as possible. I want to be an 80-year-old that is still, running around on the beach and, doing flips and all that other stuff. That's what I want to be. I want to be that active 80-year-old. I don't want to be an 80-year-old that can't move, that's using a walker. So because I want to be, that's my motivation. That is why I need to be working on that now. And, so that's my real internal driver. So I want you to really think about what your why is, as to why you're thinking you want to go to a gym, but you're maybe waiting for the motivation, and what your why is for life. Like, what do you really want to get out? So because my why is, I want to live, I want to be traveling, I want to be traveling when I get old, and I want to be doing all these things. And, not exercising is not going to, by staying active, it's going to help me get there, and it's going to assure me that I can stay, stay active and lead a better quality life. I also feel the more active I am, that whatever life throws at me, I will be able to fight it off better. And that's my views, and that is my big motivator. So it's important to think about those things when you're either looking to join something new, or you're waiting for motivation, or you hear people might say, oh, I hear, I see, something that you post, or I've heard your podcast, or I've seen, your car driving around, or someone with the Elliott PT shirt on, like I see that and I think I should join, but then I just, I'm not motivated enough. That's fine. If you're not, don't beat yourself up about it. There will be a time that you get motivated enough, but I also want you to think about that motivation that we're looking for is sometimes never going to come. So sometimes you just need to start, and you just need to start, and you just need to put one foot in front of the other and just do it. And you'll come to a point where you're like, oh my God, I actually can't live without exercising. I have a friend who had tried many other gyms, and she's now a good friend now, and she came to our gym, and she says now that she realizes how much, exercise helps her with her mental health, how much how much it's part of her life now, and she actually misses it when she doesn't come. And she was someone that struggled for years and years to exercise. So it's really just starting. And once you start and you get going, you will soon become a habit. And I talk a lot about habits because like this motivation that we're all looking for, this big, level of excitement is not always there, and it's the habits that keep you going. So, you want to keep your routine up. So maybe you're not feeling 100%. Maybe you're not, maybe you've been going to the gym and you maybe get a little bit of a cold, or you maybe get an injury and you think, oh, I'll just have a few weeks off, and the longer that you have off, you're then creating the habit of not to come. And the longer you have off, it's harder to come back. So, just keep your routine up, and really it makes the world of difference. So, and that's where it's more the habits than the motivation that's what going to keep you there and keep you active. Whatever anyone's health and fitness goals is, it's really understanding what you're looking for, what works for you. So that's why I suggest to go and trial different classes or things. If you're just wanting to be fit, but you love dancing, then maybe you don't want to do a weights class, or maybe if you want to be, if you really like more calmer things, then maybe a HIIT class isn't for you, or maybe yoga is better for you. So there is no right or wrong. It's just find a form of movement that works for you. And so look at picking that, and when you work out what your main driver is, or what it is that works for you, don't choose something for someone else. If you're going to a gym because a friend goes there, if you really love dancing, then maybe go find some form of dancing exercise. Just choose what works for you, because that is what you're going to be able to stick to, and it's going to make you feel better, and in so many other ways. So I can't emphasize enough how important it is to look at those things. The other thing is when we're looking at motivation, I want you to look at, what could be some of the roadblocks that you could have in the way. So when I lived in the UK and I used to walk home, I knew my personality, and I knew that if I went home, I wouldn't go to the gym. I wouldn't go back out. So I had to find something that worked for me, that was convenient. And to get to the gym, I used to walk past my house. So I would get off the train and I would walk past my house. So what I used to do is I used to take my gym clothes. So it was about a 15-minute walk to the train, and then about a 15-minute ride into the city. So I would do all that with my gym bag. And then I would come home, and when I come home, I would walk past my house and go straight to the gym, because I knew that if I went home to get changed to go to the gym, I wouldn't go back out. So I knew that I wouldn't do that. So that's why I carried my bag to work, went to work, came home, and I went to the gym on the way home. So I knew that that's what worked for me. In that phase of my life, that is definitely what worked for me. Now, in this current phase of my life, I know that I need to really exercise in the morning, because I find, me personally, with the way that my lifestyle runs, the nighttime, there's just lots of different things going on, and I find it harder to fit exercise in at the nighttime. So I know that if I do something in the morning, it's done. I know it's done. I don't need to think about it again. So that's why I really try to fit exercise in the morning. I also, in this phase of my life as well, I now know that I can't go and exercise for an hour or so at a time, because I don't really have that time, but I can fit in small increments of exercise. So I can fit in half an hour here, 20 minutes here, 10 minutes. I can fit in little bits like that. And I know that that's better than nothing, and I don't beat myself up about it. So I'm asking you that if you're looking for motivation, you've got to find something that works for you and it's going to fit within your lifestyle. You would also be thinking of what is, you might look at someone and you might be like, I love how she trains, but she lives half an hour away from me. It's not going to work for me. I'm not going to drive half an hour. So you've got to be realistic about that stuff and work out, what is my schedule? How does my schedule work in with my work, with my family life, with my other activities? At the moment, we have so many after school activities that it is every night we have something different on between, I have 2 kids between them. So if I was trying to do something in the afternoon, it's a real juggle. We have a boxing class, and I have been fitting that in every week. But what I have to do is we go to Charlie has ballet, we finish ballet, we come back from ballet, and I have an hour to get, because my husband works late on this Tuesday night, so I'm navigating the house, the kids and that on my own. So I have an hour to get them dinnered, bathed, and ready for bed before the boxing class. So I've been managing it really well, and it's like, come on, hurry up, hurry up. It's like, come on, quick, get the shower. So I want them to be ready before the boxing class, because if I had to do that all after, they would then be in bed too late, which would then throw them off, throw my night off. So, but I'm really driven for that. So I'm really making it happen. Anyway, that was a sidetrack. But what I want you to think about is timings, locations, and how does that work for you? If something's going to be a bit tricky, it's maybe looking at a better option, because especially when you're just starting creating this new habit, and before it's all that, you've got to make it as easy as possible for you. And so look at those things. The other thing that I really do is I ask you to set yourself up for success. So you set yourself up for success by if you're going to exercise first thing in the morning, lay your clothes out the night before. I used to, before I ran classes, I used to go and participate in a gym in the morning in a boot camp type style thing, and I used to sleep in my clothes, because it meant I just had to get, and I struggle. I think the class was at 6 or 6:30 or something, and I used to struggle to get up. Now I'm up at 4, so a 6:30 class would be late for me. But I remember I used to sleep in a lot and miss it. But I would sleep in my clothes, so then I had I'd sleep in my clothes, so then I had them already. I didn't have much excuses. So, if you are, I know other people that do, we have online classes as well. So say when you're looking at timings and kids and all that, if you've got kids and all that, sometimes, especially the morning classes, I find sometimes it's easier to do it online if your kids are still asleep, or you can't leave home, or you have to get back from work, so you do it online. So if that was something that you were doing, you would set yourself up for success the night before, as in laying out your mat, getting your drink bottle ready, all of those things. So then it's not hard in the morning. You're not trying to race around and catch up, get things, and then run out of time. So set yourself up for success, so that everything is there is the least amount of obstacles that you could run into. The other thing that you could do is you could, is really looking at what your obstacles could be. So what could some of your obstacles be about starting a new exercise regime? What could that be? And then before it gets to it, start to work out some scenarios. So, I know lots of people's obstacles can be their children, like, oh, my kids. Well, you could inquire at the gym, can I bring my kids to your gym? So for me, my classes are child friendly. So, people can bring their kids. I know I have a dad that does the Muscle and Mates program, and his wife works late as well. So he was like, can I bring my kids? I was like, of course you can. So yeah, and I also really love the fact that your kids can watch you working out, because I think it's sending such a great message. I have little mums with their little babies in the classes, and you know what? They watch their mums exercising, and they see, and there's, not too long before they start to do that. They start to copy you, and they want to do the same thing. Just recently, Charlie, all of a sudden, Cooper was really interested in, my kids have obviously both been brought up around exercise, and Charlie, Cooper really loved it a lot earlier than her, and that's fine. And I wondered, it was just when I had Cooper, he was in a park. I used to go to a park, and when I had Charlie, she was at home, so I used to have her I had a cot in the studio, and she was in that at first, and then when she started waking up a lot more, I put her in the house and had a monitor. The studio's not far from the house, so I had a monitor so I could hear her. So I thought maybe that was why she wasn't as interested as what Cooper's. But anyway, she's just started to become really, really interested in exercise, and she wants to come and she wants to join in anytime. And I did the same with both of them, but she's just started, and she's coming and she's standing at the front and taking a class with me, and like no matter who's there, she's wanting to do the same. And it's so good, but it's because she's seen it all the time. Now Charlie's 4, she'll be 5 in March. So it is so good for your kids to see you working out. And, we also don't realize how much they're picking up. They pick up on everything that we do. And I love it. And that's why I love having your kids there. So, again, when you're looking at something, like what could an obstacle be and how can you overcome that, and look at it beforehand and maybe working out those things before you start something. For me, when I'm joining something, the timing is really the key. I want to do, I always wanted to do that Bikram yoga, like the hot yoga, but when one time when I had looked into doing it, it was like an hour and a half class, but then it was a half an hour drive for me as well. So that hour and a half class was and it was actually 2.5 hours by the time I drove there and I drove home. And I had to say to myself, I can't, that just doesn't quite work with my timing. So I never got started. So I had to be honest with myself. As much as I did want to do it, the timings just didn't quite work for me. So again, that's something that you need to look, when we're looking at being motivated, when we look at starting something, we need it to be as easy as, you need to make it as easy as possible and foolproof as possible for you. So then, you won't give up when you are, won't give up, especially when you're just starting. When you're just starting as well, it is a lot harder to create that habit. And before you know it, honestly, you'll be surprised. You'll be putting one foot in front of the other, and you'll be doing things. And a lot of people say they just get in the car and they drive through, and then they don't even, they're kind of on autopilot. They finish school, they know that they drive straight to the gym. You finish school, drop off, and all of those things. So it's not too long before it becomes autopilot, but it does take time. So especially when you're starting out and you're looking for this big motivator, to get you going, you need to make it as foolproof as possible. Okay, so some other tips that you can get for finding that motivation to take that first step and to start is, one thing is research has shown that if we actually dress for the part, it can really help fuel your ambition to complete our chosen task. So you can make sure that you put your workout gear on, you can go buy a new workout outfit. There are so many nice, beautiful colored things about that, you could look at. So, look, even if you're not feeling like the workout, get dressed for the workout. Get dressed and just get dressed for it. And, if you're in full workout gear, you are far more likely to head out the door and get to the gym. Another tip could be to make a commitment with a friend. So look at having an accountability partner, someone that's going to help keep you motivated and help be like, where are you? So make plans with a friend, and realize that somebody else is really counting on you to attend. When I was younger, I was about 18 because I'd just left school, and I remember my friend, he used to come pick me up and we would go to the gym together. And I reckon if he never picked me up, I never would have went. So he would come every morning and he'd pick me up at 6 o'clock or something, and we would go to the gym. And so I'm very grateful for for my friend that did that. And, sometimes your friend can just give you that. Your friend might have a different level of motivation. They might have more experience in the gym, so they can help you with things. And also, if you are a bit shy of attending a gym or something, it's nice to have somebody there when you're just starting. It's also other things to help you be motivated is really make a plan. We talked earlier about our why and what we want to do, but make a plan, and have kind of a goal and something that you can look towards. That's why I like to have, like we do goal setting and all of those things, because it's really important to have these things to look forward to, and to realize that you have these little goals set up, that you are achieving stuff. So, we do body scanning and those things, and look at your fitness test, because, lots of people forget, because you go with yourself every day and you forget that when you first started, I had a lady years ago, and when she first started, she could only lift half a kilo. And before she stopped, she was lifting nearly 8 kilos for the same exercise. And she was like, oh, I feel like I've not progressed. And I had a book and I looked back and I was like, look, this is where you started. And so it's really important to have kind of a plan and to be able to see that you are making progress, because that will keep you motivated to stay there. I really can't emphasize enough that for me, getting up early and going early, getting it done before the rest of the day does help avoiding those 8 to 10 hours that you can spend talking yourself out of going. People, if you're at work, I can't bother. And I do tend to find with anyone, more things tend to crop up in the night time or in the afternoon that can stop you from going. So really look at what your lifestyle is like and what your routine is like, in order to keep that going. and to keep you moving and to keep you active. Another thing is when you get started, I always tell people to maybe work out, lots of people, if they're just starting and they're all motivated at the start, they have this all or nothing mentality. So they'll go, right, I'm going to attend every class. I'm going to come 5 times a week, two different sessions, and then they have that, and then it gets too much and then it drops off. So don't overpromise yourself, so just start off small and start off being realistic. And then, I say lots of people, just start off at 2 sessions and get the habit of 2 sessions ingrained in you, and then look at increasing it. Look at increasing it to a 3rd session, because to third session or more, unless you can confidently say, I'm going to attend this, because I just see lots of people have this all or nothing mentality, and if they go too hard too early, they won't stick to it. They won't stick to it for the long term. So remember, everything is all about this long-term goal. I really loved I like to look at stats and see where I'm going with things. So I love my watch. I love seeing, watching my heart rate. I love seeing how it improves and all this. I had somebody yesterday was showing me, since they'd started, how much their resting heart rate has gone down, from stats from their watch. So it's having something like that. I like being able to look at my stats. I like having to see how many workouts I've completed in a week. So, so if you log your workout when I'm running, I like to see the distance I'm running and to know the distance I'm running and the speed that I run at. So that stuff is what makes me motivated. When after I had my kids, and I couldn't run, and then I started rerunning, I knew in my head a speed that I ran at. So I wanted to get back to that speed per K. So that was motivating for me to stick to that. So look into those things. The last thing is, when we are wanting to get motivated or stay motivated, I think it's really important to find a balance, but also include a recovery. It is probably something that is underestimated, how important a recovery is. And, people don't see the value in it, or they don't see the value in that, or stretching, or any of those things. So it is really important to give your body a rest, because it will love you for it, and it will respond to that rest, and you'll be able to perform better. So, again, looking at this all or nothing mentality, it is really important to build in some recovery time. And that can either mean doing nothing, just taking a walk, maybe doing a stretching, but, looking at including your recovery time is going to help you stay motivated and stay active. I know that it can be tough to get motivated to start, or, to stay motivated, but you want to find something that works for you. And really, when you think about the long-term results of exercising, there is so many benefits, and I can't urge you all enough to do some form of activity, because your life will be better in so many ways. After the age of 30, if you're not actively working on your muscle, you lose your muscle. You need muscle on your body for balance. You need it to move around. We don't have to all look like Arnold Schwarzenegger or any of those things, but, you need to have muscle on you, and have that strength, and have that movement, have that flexibility, so then you don't have the aches and pains. So it's so important, but it's also important to find something that works for you. If you know anybody that this may help, if they are feeling unmotivated and you want to help them get motivated, then please share this.
Thanks for listening to the Elliott's PT podcast. I hope you have been able to find this information of use to you. If you know someone who might enjoy this podcast, please share it with them, and ensure that you subscribe so you can be the first to know when new podcasts are released. If you have the time to leave a 5-star review, that would be amazing, and it would be greatly appreciated. If you do so, please screenshot and share onto any of our socials and tag us. Then email the screenshot to hello@elliotspt.com, and we will send you a free gift to your inbox. Thanks so much. Have an amazing day. Speak soon.